Alright guys, welcome to the episode of the Water Closet Podcast. I think we're on episode 7 now. That's cool. We've got Bill this week and he plays, or you play the drums, right?
Drums, yeah.
Drums in a band called Diamond in the Dirt around Hertfordshire where you're at. Or do you play elsewhere?
Play anywhere, London, Hertfordshire, anywhere in the south at the moment. We've not really travelled up north far. Yeah.
And we've got John as well.
Hi guys.
John returns. Hasn't been here for
I'm
a couple
back,
weeks.
yeah, sorry guys.
So yeah, what should we start with? Should we start with the band and just progress from there?
Yeah, I'd like to know a bit of background information on the band, to be honest.
Band.
So when did it start? Establishment?
When it started 5 or 6 years ago really now. But it started off when I was in a band before. We weren't doing much, it was a bit dead. And but I'd still paid for studio time.
Yeah.
So I just asked a mate in a pub, I didn't really know at the time, Sonny. I said, I've got a studio time booked. I know you play guitar, so come in. I didn't even play drums at this point. I thought I'd try and make some racket. Let's just kicked off from there. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can
I can swear, yeah. Like, it's in every sentence there's a swear word. I'm really thinking about it.
I actually try, when I listen back, I don't like when I swear, and I've actually dubbed myself out a few times. But I don't mind, it's cool. So sometimes you need it just to have that bit of passion, you know.
Yeah. But I didn't even fucking play drums at the time anyway, and I started just for that, and it started just being silly really. He had a couple of riffs there. He didn't even play guitar at the time. He was a bassist in a band. They were doing really well as well at the time.
So a studio time. I didn't even know that was a concept. What is it? Where is a typical studio? How would you book it? All that sort of stuff.
There's rehearsal rooms, loads of places now. Our main one really is Satellite Studios, and that's where we started. We the band now, there's 4 of us now, and we all live so far apart from each other.
Right.
Which is killer. It is actual struggle sometimes.
And is the studio a central place for you guys to meet?
Yeah, it is now. Enfield is the most central place now. We just make sure, every Friday, we've got the same studio, same time now. Just all meet up and rehearse.
So everyone's just committed to that time. Everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone tries to. Obviously, everyone life gets in the way sometimes, and that it is a nightmare.
So you've got 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
Have they all got children?
No, I'm married with 2 kids. Aiden's married. The other 2, Sonny's with someone, and then Tids is single. But yeah.
Yeah, so lives
does get in the way.
Yeah.
To be fair to myself, even though I've got 2 kids, I had a wife and work full time and whatnot, I try and put as much time as I can into the band. Which
That's your passion,
It's my passion, yeah.
So how does that come about? When you're, planning for an actual live performance, where do you normally do performances? Pubs?
Anywhere, wherever the promoter asks us to play, really. We've done.
So you have a promoter?
Well, the way gigs work now is venues have their own promoters. There'll be a company and they'll promote shows. They want to book your band to come in, play. They'll charge what they charge on the door. They'll give you a fee. Some of them will take the piss with a fee. Some of them, there's a thing called pay to play, but fuck pay to play. We'll never do that. That's where you literally buy tickets to your own show and then sell them. So you'll buy 50 tickets at £5 a ticket. So you spend 250 quid. And then you've got to sell them 50 tickets for £10
to make profit.
to make your money. So if you don't sell your tickets, you're out of pocket. Yeah. But that's arsehole promoters.
Is that how it starts? Is there a point where when you're a new band and you're trying to get gigs and you're doing a lot of self-promotion, is that kind of how it kicks off? And
there's a lot of bands that will pay to play, but we've never done it and we never would.
Okay.
As soon as promoters, we always get messages on Facebook or we've got email addresses and whatnot, and as soon as a band says, we like your band, or promoter says, we like your band, or we've seen you at a show, we're interested, we'll say, give us some details. The second they say pay to play, we will quite literally, I'll show you the message, just pretend fuck off, that's proper arsehole. I can't think what I can compare it to in in terms you'd understand, but it's just the arseholes of the music industry.
Kicking the dick.
Yeah. Fuck yourself,
basically. So was there a point, because obviously we were speaking about the origins, was there a point when it went from you guys having to sell yourselves to places, to then places being like, we want you to come and play, like you're being scouted almost.
Yeah, you do. The more you, it's so hard. The music industry is like something else. It's so hard. There's not like a scale of how big you are. You're either making nothing. You either lose, like between making nothing and losing. Then you're like, there's the medium ground, and then there's your U2s and your Muse.
Yeah.
There's no one that's doing all right. There's no one that's earning like a decent. You're either struggling or you're massive, or it's costing you money basically. So yeah, no, we're trying to work our way up this ladder. I think the music we play, we're never going to be a Muse or a U2.
What is the music? Sorry, just for the listeners.
We're like heavy politically charged punk, really. So
that
everybody's
is such a mouthful to get out.
Yeah, like if someone sort of just said, "Oh, what's your band?" I'd say we're just a punk band.
Yeah.
But to try sort of say that there's a cap, is like obviously.
You're like the modern day Sex Pistols.
That wouldn't go down too well, but yeah, in a way. But then there's bands like Idols. I don't know if you know who Idols are.
No.
They're like a punk band, and they're massive. They're also like quite politically charged, and they've just sort of blown up.
So politically charged.
I only reference Sex Pistols, sorry there, Rick, but because obviously Johnny Rotten and God Save the Queen and all the stuff that he used to do, and yeah. Sorry to cut you off, Rick.
Politically charged, challenging what society?
Yeah, it's just we love our music. Like we do that. I do that anyway. If there weren't any reason for it, I love playing instruments. I've played instruments since I was like 10, 11. But we use it like as a platform to sort of as a message really for our views, how we think things should be.
And do all four of you have the same views?
Some more extreme than others.
Yeah.
There's people that are more forward with it in the band.
Sure.
But yeah, we're all sort of on the same page. Like,
the view is there.
we believe it. Obviously, there's some guys that believe things, not believe different things, but are a lot more involved. If you know what I mean.
Sure. How in depth do we want to go into that?
It's a big.
It's a big topic.
Yeah,
And
it's
It's a huge topic.
and it's a lot of editing for me if we say the wrong things, which is bullshit.
I do have a question actually, going back to what you said earlier about the very, very sort of first sessions that you guys done when you just booked your first studio time, and you said that you couldn't even play drums, so you completely self-taught.
Yeah. Like I played little bits at school where I'd sit behind a drum kit and mess around, but I played guitar since I was 11 or 12, like maybe 10 even, as young as that. So I've always watched bands and I've seen drummers and I've been around drummers and I've watched them, so I knew some real basic stuff. And I just sort of sat behind there and messed
Had a
around. Yeah.
And Sonny was playing bass, did you say?
He was bass at the time. In a
And
band
he's now
called-
come over to electric.
Yeah, he's playing guitar now. He was in a band called the Dub Rats, which were actually they were doing really well at one point. And but they're not about. I don't believe they're about anymore. But yeah, so he's come over. He just picked up a guitar, some cheap old thing he found literally under his bed. He brought that along, and only done it just to sort of make up the time that I'd already paid for, and just sort of escalated. 6 years later, there's 4 of us, and we've played shows with some of my favourite bands now.
So the pair of you kind of self-taught together.
Yeah.
And at what point did you start recruiting new members? Was it quick, or did you guys just play together for a while?
I reckon about within 18 months we'd become the 4 we are now. Because there was just the 2 of us, we was lacking bass. And I said I knew a guy, which was Aidan, who I've been in bands with since I was about 15. I've known Aidan for years. And we basically like said, oh, do you want to come audition? And then Sonny said, I know a guy, Tidders. He plays guitar, but he could play bass for us. And he come auditioned. And I just said, like, we liked them both. They're both cool guys. And we just get Tibbin to come in and play guitar for us anyway. And now have Aidan on bass.
So you've never had any other members?
No, it was just us 2 and then us 4, yeah.
That's quite cool, to be fair, that you've sort of had that unit for such a long time.
Bands like family. Like after so long, so much time together. Like,
And families argue, which is something that I did want to go into. So like band conflicts, how often is that a thing?
Yeah. It's, everyone argues. Like you see the biggest bands in the world that are making millions split up because of arguments and stuff.
Of course.
So it's like when you do football or not, like the rows you have with your managers and players is the same thing. Especially when with a football team, there's like 20 of you. There's 4 of us, and the most of the time we spend in a room that's no bigger than this room together for hours on end, playing shows. There's a lot that goes into it, like writing, recording. We put our own money into it.
Do you all write together?
It's a process for us. Like someone will come in with an idea, and that'll be the basis, and then we'll work off of it, and then we'll all throw ideas in. It's helpful that the other guys know a little bit about drums themselves. I play guitar, so we can all throw our own ideas in to create a tune. Yeah.
How many songs have you written now?
We've written.
I've actually got your album still upstairs from a couple of years ago.
So yeah, we've written now probably about 25 songs, but on our list of songs that we have that we've gone forward with, we've probably got about 10 to be honest with you. Like that album would have been our first album. We dropped half of that.
Oh really?
Yeah, we had a point where we come together. It was fun, and it got a bit more serious, and then it was like this is getting serious now. Like we was arguing over songs, and we saying like we had different ideas for the direction of the band. Some people wanted to do this, some people wanted to do that, and in the end we sort of made a decision like this is what we're going to do, and we dropped literally half of the songs.
So these songs that were they chopped because they weren't the right sort of genre, or they weren't giving the sort of political messages that you guys like to put across, or they were too political and you wanted to drop them?
Can I do an extension to that as well?
Go on, yeah.
Your views obviously change from time to time.
Yeah.
What do you do to an old song? Do you get rid of it?
No, the general. When I first started the band, I did not have the views I have now.
Sure.
No, I weren't like a Nazi when I started the band, but like I weren't. I was very central.
Sure.
If anything, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in politics.
Of course.
I
don't think many people like it.
2017, 18.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No one really cared.
No.
I must have been 18, so yeah, about 5-6 years ago. Yeah, didn't really care. Sonny's always cared. Sonny's always had his views, and we sort of grew into it. When we first started, he was writing like poppy tunes. Really, it was almost like Arctic Monkeys-esque, and that was not what we were going forward.
So was this to try and be popular, to try and get?
No, it was just the sort of stuff we wrote.
Okay.
It was just me and Sonny at the time. He would just come with a riff, and I'd just play drums to it, and that was that. And then like, as we got the more people in, our writing evolved, and then we had these arguments and discussions, band meetings and whatnot, and we've come to the conclusion of what we need to do and what we're going to do. We all agreed on it, and we said like, well, fuck these songs off. These are the songs that represent what we are now. We've, like I say, we started the band at, I'm sure I was 17 or 18. I'm like 24 now.
Yeah.
Like I've grown up with them, and like we've grown as musicians, especially me and Sonny, not even playing an instrument at that point. We've grown as musicians, as songwriters, and they're old songs that we've put behind us now and
just moved on from,
yeah.
It's weird, like, this is slightly off topic, but in terms of like, so I'm kind of like against social media, not against it, there's aspects that are good and there's aspects that are bad, but I'm building an online presence of the Water Closet. That's my virtual me, basically. It's not me. I don't want my name. My name isn't like, that's not
your
the brand.
face, and you are not attached to it.
Yeah. Just the Water Closet is the brand that I want it to go. That holds all of my views in the web. Like, and it's almost a different person. Like, that's kind of like how I'm getting the message from the bands like Diamond in the Dirt. That same sort of thing. Like your views. It's just an extension of all 4 of your views, right? Like it's almost its own character.
It is.
Is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah, it is. But for some of us, like our views, like I'll talk about my views that we talk about in the band now, not as Billy from Diamond in the Dirt, but as Billy. They're things that now I've got involved in politics and I've learned things, and I can't go into too much depth on it. Like I'm not solid in it with it, but I follow it enough. I know what I think's right and wrong now.
Yeah.
And I think. Yeah, I still talk about my views outside of the band. Like I'll go to work and someone will say something and I'll be like, don't be stupid, like that's not like that. Yeah. And if I'm talking about as myself as Diamond, I'm talking as my views as Billy Fox.
Sure, but just Diamond and Dirt is just a whole new like character kind of thing.
Yeah, like we say, it's like our platform.
Yeah.
It's our way of saying like, we go to a show and they'll be like, there might be 10 people there, might be 100 people there, but it's our way of saying, fuck the government or whatnot, you know what I mean? Like, without showing them my political views now, it's our way of putting our message out there.
Yeah.
And it's a unity as a show as well.
Are you not worried that sort of stuff will, come back and bite you in the arse if you ever made it?
No.
Or are you
Because-
worried it might have an effect on you making it?
Yeah. I mean, it could do. It could hold us back in some senses because there might be promoters that are like we're what you'd probably call, I'm doing like the hyphen fingers here, like a left wing band.
Yeah,
Quoted left wing band, and there might be like some Nazi promoter that's like, oh no, I don't listen to that, and they wouldn't book us for a show, but we would say, fuck that guy, like these are our views,
Yeah, of course.
and we'll stand by them.
Yeah.
Like, we won't change our views for a band. Like if like the Conservatives were like, we're going to put a party on, does Diamond and Dirt want to play? Even if there's 10 million people there, we're like, no, fuck you guys, like we don't agree with you, and that's how we are. Like,
Yeah.
obviously I'm not just like, if you don't have my political views, I won't be friends with you. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
entitled to their opinion, but
But in terms of the music,
yeah, the
you know
music,
what
that's
you're
our thing, and
and that's where you go.
I think nowadays you know what to expect with us. Like, I think if a promoter is going to book us, they've obviously seen us, or they've seen our online presence.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's through like playing with other bands, like we play a show with a band and they might get recommended. If you've seen our band, you know what it's like. You've
Yeah.
seen the sort of things that Sonny will come out and shout about, and even not even songs, like in between songs, tuning up and that. Sonny will have something that he wants to say, and he'll just say it like.
Like he'll just start speaking.
Yeah, like we'll literally say like, especially if something's going on at that time that's affecting people,
Yeah.
and it's our chance to sort of say, look, this is how it should be, or this is why it's like that.
I should
We
really
should-
have come and listened to one of your performances really before we did this podcast.
We've been quite quiet recently, to be fair.
Oh.
We've not played a show. I think we've played one show this year at the moment. To be
Okay.
fair. We've done a lot of recording and stuff at the moment, so.
We should have like stated this at the beginning, but I guess like where do you want it to go? What's the target objective?
I just like, I love doing it anyway. If there's no one in the room when we play a show, I
Yeah.
love it. When we rehearse, it's just us four, but I love it. But just getting to bigger audiences would be nice. Like,
Yeah.
What's
like
the
dream
biggest
to-
audience you've played?
I don't know, like we only ever play small cap venues, so like we play like 100 cap venues, 150 cap venues. We've sold out like the last ever show. There's a venue called Camden Enterprise. It's gone now. The last ever show they played, we played, and we sold it out. It's only like probably 80 people, but that's like the capacity of the room.
Yeah.
But that was sold out. We played shows like festivals. So we played like Castle Fest, which was last year or maybe the year before. Don't know, time flies. And we played Wilkstock, which is like, that had like Razorlight headlining. Not that I'm a fan of Razorlight, but like Razorlight were there, like they're a big band. So
Yeah.
we've had big crowds. So I won't know exactly, but yeah, look, the biggest thing we've done is, the biggest show I think we've done is we played a headline show at the Black Heart in Camden. I don't know if you know it, near the World's End.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah, it's near there, and that was near enough. That's packed out, and the crowd was insane. Like, all
So
the boys would agree that was the
You
best
reckon
show.
that was your favourite?
Oh, that was the best show we played, yeah. Or we support a band called Strange Bones as well.
Alright.
Probably not heard of them, but
No.
they're quite a big up and coming band, and that was another really, really good show.
So people know what kind of like performances you do on stage.
Yeah.
So Bill used to play for my football team, right, for Meridian Athletic that I had a couple of years ago. And Bill decided to turn up one day with a gash across the top of his head.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain
Yeah.
how that happened?
Yeah, that was football training. I went home from that and went to hospital after that as well.
Yeah.
I think the football training really pushed me over the edge. I had a concussion.
Yeah.
And training, like, that, getting the blood flowing, that really fucked me up. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, live, it's not only like a way of putting a message out, but for all us it's a release as well.
Yeah.
We work, we get stressed, things happen in life, and you're like, fuck this shit. And getting on stage is just like, it's like a high.
Yeah.
That honestly, I can compare it. I've done naughty drugs and things, and I literally, it's on the level, if not a level above that, like that feeling of being on stage, and it's a release.
Yeah.
And you do sometimes, especially us, if, like I say, if you've come to one of our shows, it's pretty insane. Like, it's quite intense.
It's like you go into a euphoric state.
Yeah, literally, like you lose control. Like I've smashed several drum kits up. We smashed guitars up. Me and Sonny have both had trips to A&E after shows. But that particular show, we was playing. There was the end of a song we played called, I think it was the end of a song called "We Could Speak Up," and so it's like a little quite real song. So Sonny's getting into it, and he jumped over on my drum kit, and just with a forward motion, he went over the top of it. And he literally just went through me. The video's on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, I'm sure he Speak Up. If you go on YouTube and type in "Down in the Dirt Live at the Horn," I'll have to find it. But yes, you can see him. He jumps up and he goes through me, but he clattered my head with like the headstock of your guitar. And at the time, I didn't think nothing of it. He hit me back. I fell back off my stool, just got straight back up with my sticks, and we finished the song. And he wanted to after. I sort of thought like, wow, I'm sweating here.
Yeah.
And I looked down and there was just blood all over my drum kit,
Yeah.
like, all over obviously my skin on my snare's white, and it was just claret, like. And I sort of wiped my face off and looked at my hand, and I was just pissing out, like.
Yeah.
And like Aidan was like, "You're bleeding really bad, like, are you alright?" And I was like, we'll finish the show. And then I think it's just the adrenaline at the time. Like I say, I can only compare it to a high. It's like the adrenaline at the time. I was like, we're gonna finish this show. It was the first song. We'll finish this show, and we did. And as soon as I come off stage, I was like, I feel like I'm dying now. Right?
So I mean, I know it was bad because when you turn up to football, and like I think I was like, oh, don't do this because whatever, just do some press up.
I think it was press ups where everyone was doing a press up routine we used to do.
And you was just like, my head's going to explode.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do this. I like just go home, Bill, because don't want to death on my team.
Sonny's had stitches as well. We was playing a show in Stevenage, a pub called the Red Lion, I want to say, with a band called Poltergeist, and he was headbanging, and I don't even think he was going that stupid at that point.
Right.
But he was headbanging, and he turned round, and where the cymbal sits on, it's like on a pole, and usually you put like a cap on the top. But I don't put a cap because I like my cymbals to sort of fly about a bit more. And he sort of headbanged, and he literally just put his head straight into the pole, and he just like gashed open like the top, like his scalp.
Yeah.
And there was a picture somewhere, and he's literally, when I say he's put his like, whole side of his face, they had to get a mop and bucket up in the pub after, and he went A&E, and his head stapled back.
So other than those two, have you had any other like incredibly memorable on-stage incidents? Or even off-stage, like have you ever had people from the audience get involved, or have you ever gone down and got involved with audience members during
that's like a general part of our show. Like I've seen loads of bands and everyone gets on stage and they can play their instrument, and obviously there's bands that just do that and are incredible, right? There's like a band called Future of the Left. They just get up. The guy's funny as hell, but they get up, they play their songs. It's just so tight, it's incredible. But us, like, we like to bring the audience in, if you know what I mean. Like most of the time, Sonny's not even on stage. Aidan's not. Tidman sort of stays with me most of the time, but Aidan's out. It's like one of our favourite pictures from a gig ever was when we played with Strange Bones, and someone had literally picked Aidan up and put him on his shoulders, and he's up on his shoulders, like playing his bass. We like I say, I smashed so many drum kits. Like, I've broke 4 drum kits now. That's why I only play cheap things now. I will not buy anything expensive.
That must be a very, very expensive thing to do.
So when you watch like I don't know, these rock shows and stuff like that, and they smash up the guitar after a gig and that, like, do you think that's like showman, like, or do you think it is ecstasy at the same time?
I think it's adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like, I think if Sonny said before the show, I want to put my guitar through your drum kit, I turned to fuck off. Like,
of course.
No, don't do that. Like, we played the Barfly. That was a big show for us. We headlined Camden Barfly. It's called Camden Assembly now. And at the end of the show, the drum kit as well, I bought second hand, and I stripped all this crap paint off it, and I put it out, I sanded all the metal down, and I painted it all jet black. I painted all the chrome bits black. It looked bollocks.
Yeah.
And we played this show, and right at the end, I dragged the drum kit out into the crowd, and I was playing in the middle of the crowd. It would look cool. And as the song finished, Sonny wouldn't have done it because he knew it would piss me off.
Yeah.
But I didn't care at the time because adrenaline. He just took his guitar off and literally like a fucking axe, he just swung it over his head. I put it straight through my drum kit. Like literally just collapsed in on itself. And like, he wouldn't have done it because it's a dick move, really. It's like, that's my pride and joy, this drum kit I just built.
You've spent so many
I
hours.
spent hours cleaning it up, tidying it, painting it, and he just destroyed it. But it's just, for us, it's our, like I say, it's our release.
It's like the end of the release, so I would imagine it normally happens at the end of a gig. Or
throughout, really. I mean, smashing a drum kit, if you've done it the first song, you've fucked the show, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was the end of a bit. That's like I say, there's certain things I wouldn't do. Like sometimes I've been known to like pull the drum kit out into the crowd, and I wouldn't do that first song. I'd wait till the end, and it'll be the big finale.
Yeah.
I pulled it out for the song, and I've got to play the rest of the set with half a drum kit and unmiked. You know what I mean? There's no mics in it out there, so that sort of thing. Like, it is a bit of showmanship, but I would wait till the end.
Yeah. It's the end of the release, isn't it? It's the final...
The climax.
Exactly. That's it. I was trying to reference it to that, but without getting too in-depth in it. But yeah, that's the best way to put it, the climax. The climax. So one thing I did want to ask, going back to something mentioned earlier about band arguments, has there ever been a time when you guys have said, this is it?
Yeah, we've definitely had arguments where I've come away and I've sort of thought, I don't want to do this shit no more. Like, you forget about the good times. You'll have like a couple of crap rehearsals, or you play a crap show and be like, this is shit, like, this ain't working out. Like, I'm not interested in this. Like, Jesus, me and Sonny had a row like the other week. Like it's like family.
Yeah.
You're so close to each other. Like, there's 4 of us, and I see them every week without fail. We play shows with them. Like, we play a festival, and I spend the weekend with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it interrupts my life outside. I have so many rows with my wife as well. She's like, oh, we're going out for a meal Friday. And I'm like, no. Band rehearsal was like, you do that every week. I'm like, I'm not missing it. And then I'd have a row with my missus, and I'd turn up to a band practice, and I've got the arm, and someone fuck up or something, and then it's just a big row. And there's so many times where I come away, like, the boys will... There's not times where I've come away and not even said it to the boys, but the boys have probably gone home themselves and said to their wives, girlfriends, family, a lot.
Just around, like,
fuck this. Like, why am I even doing this?
Has this ever happened just before something very important, like on the lead up to playing a big gig or a festival, and you've almost like disbanded the band at that point?
No, I mean,
typical movie plan. Like,
yeah, and just last minute you're like,
all fantastic. Then it all starts falling apart.
No, because
and then Disney comes into play.
yeah.
And they're all playing, and it's the best show ever.
What I'm trying to get at is, like, a lot of people would probably look at your situation with the band and be quite envious, only because they're looking from an outsider's perspective, right? So what I mean by that is they're like, Bill's this cool guy who's in a band and he's got this little family unit and everything's fucking sparkly.
Yeah.
But they obviously don't see the behind the scenes shit that happens when you can't agree on song lyrics, or you can't agree on a riff for a song, or you can't agree on
responsibilities available.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just life, though, isn't it?
I understand that, but so that's the reason I was asking, because like to an outsider, it might look like something that you would be incredibly envious of, but for you, who actually goes through it, how many like massive stress points has there been, or even has there been, before something really important for the band?
It's continuous stress, like just juggling everything with the band as well. It's just like it's a love, but at the same time, it's like I've got to juggle in my life as well as having a wife, kids, work, etc., etc. But yeah, on the outside, everything always looks good. Like, this goes back to Ricky saying about social media earlier. That's just everything. Like, you look at someone's Instagram profile and you think, Jesus, they've got a wicked life. You look at our band and like, we know as well, like we see bands and we think like, fucking hell, look how good they've got it. Like, they're doing this show, doing that show, and we play a show with them, and they're just like us. Yeah. They're rowing, or they're not got anything more spectacular than what we've got. It's just life. Like, everything always looks like, oh look, they're doing that. We're playing this show. Bill's got his family at home. Everything's perfect. Of course it ain't. Like, I'll come home from a shit day at work and have a massive row on missus because I'm going bad practice. I turn up at the arm and like 2 months I've got a guitar lead or something, and that's like pissed me off. I'm like, fuck's sake, why'd you even bother turning up? And then it's like, you do have your big rows, like massive rows, and it gets you down. Like, especially like we had a rehearsal the other Friday, and me and Sonny had a row, and it got me down for the whole weekend. Like, it's like if you had a row with your mum or dad, or like my wife. If I had a massive row with my wife, and then especially if I don't see her then for a couple of days, or I didn't see Sonny for a couple of days, I was like, shit, man, like I'm a prick, ain't I? You know what I mean? Like, proper. And
self-reflection.
Yeah, and you come away and like, and then I didn't see him again until Friday just gone, like for rehearsals, and I was like, are we good again? And like, of course we are, like, it's just a row.
Yeah.
Like anything, like you've had a girlfriend and you fucking row and you go, you're whatever, I hate you, but you don't, like you come together again.
Have you had like a falling out where you just kind of like, you turn up still because, you know, that's your shit, like that's your pride and joy, but you're just not on speaking terms? Like, is that...
Yeah, definitely there's been points where, I mean, I won't be able to pinpoint them now,
yeah,
but
of course.
there's definitely been times where we've had a row and someone's done something and we've gone, why have you done that? And then you know, like next practice, there's a little bit awkward where we'll come in.
There's an elephant in the room.
Yeah,
Is that a phrase?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, definitely. But then it's just, it'll be. I don't know if it's with every band. To be fair, this is the main band I've been in for most of my life now. But you will come in, it'll be awkward and quiet, and then we'll play through the set. We'll play like whatever we're going through, and then we'll have our 10-minute break, and then we'll go outside. No one smokes in the band anymore, but everyone used to smoke. And but we'd all go outside for fag break or coffee, and we'd just chat, and it'd be like, we're good, like, and we'll crack on.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been times where we've rowed, and I've definitely, it's been 100%, there's been plenty of times where I've rowed them all, and I've gone home to my wife, and I've said, like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore, like, I'm sick of this, like, this is meant to be my downtime, my enjoyment, and it's just causing me stress and anxiety, like, I'm getting anxious about going to practice or something. Oh, I don't need that.
Yeah. I can relate to that, like with the football team that me and Ricky owned and ran together, and that you was also a part of. And it was something where at the beginning I loved it because it was just a passion to do outside of your mundane 9 to 5. Yeah. And they got to a point where I would just come home after a training session or after a match on a Sunday, and I'd know that I had about 2 hours worth of books to go through for the team's finances, and there was...
And you think, why do I bother?
Why am I fucking doing this?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's Sunday afternoon.
That's football. When I played for you guys, it was exactly the same thing, but probably on a worse level as well. I'm like the most anxious person you'll ever meet in the world. Like, my anxiety levels were through the roof. And like, training was fine, but as soon as there was pressure on that Sunday, if my name was in a team, like, I'd be feeling physically sick. Really bad. That's why I always felt like maybe I would look better at training than I ever did at a game, because just my anxiety levels at a game,
because there's no pressure,
just through the roof. If I let a couple of goals, no one cares.
I mean, I don't.
If I cock up once at football, I mean, I was never any good at football. Like, I'm never going to lie about my ability at football, but my anxiety was so bad. Like, so bad at football. Like, Sunday mornings, I'd be taking Imodium just to stop myself going to the toilet 100 times, like, before a game.
It's difficult with football as well, though, because where you have so many like better and confident players as well, like there always is going to be a better player.
Yeah.
That team that you was playing for, where you was there for the first season, but only for like the last few games.
Yeah.
The second season, yeah, you was with us, but there was a click in the team.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't help towards your anxiety either. Like,
yeah, definitely. That's the difference with the band.
Yeah, I don't remember them being that supportive.
No, yeah, like, I'd cock up, I'd let a goal in,
yeah,
and it'd be like, you're a prick, why
Yeah.
are you doing it?
Yeah.
And it was nothing like, I get like, before we go on stage, I've played hundreds of shows now. Well, not hundreds, but I've played loads of shows. Like, I've played, I'd say like, I'm trying to think of the biggest show we played, probably like Castlefest or Wilkstock. But I'd still get nervous even after playing that. If we're doing like a 20 capacity venue next week, I'm still shitting myself before I go on stage. But the thing I can relax on is that I know, unlike football, if I cock up, we'll all laugh about it, and at the end of the show we'll go, I'll beat myself up about it, don't get me wrong. I'll go home and I'll be like a sport, I'll be throwing stuff about it, I'll be like, fuck's sake, Paige, like, fucked up tonight, fuck this shit. But the boys will be like, don't worry about it, we'll crack on.
Yeah.
Whereas with football, it was just, Complete opposite. And there's 11, but there weren't. There's like a 17, 14 man squad or whatever.
What was we? We was a 20.
I think we had 25.
25 people getting on your back instead of 3 people that were like really supportive.
Yeah.
If I feel like, I'm not blaming it. I'm fully aware of like how I was as a footballer. I always said I'm under no illusion of my ability as a footballer. But like maybe if like people were more supportive, it'd make a difference. If I let it go and people went, don't worry about it, crack on. Obviously, it eased me.
What's the biggest shame? Sorry, like the biggest shame with this football was it was amateur Sunday league football. Not one single person really had the right to to be that way.
Yeah.
Unless they're earning thousands a week for playing, then you can call me shit. But you're just as bad as me, effectively. Otherwise you'd be being paid for.
We would be in the same team if he's better than me, really.
Exactly.
But see, this is a big conversation that me and Ricky used to have on quite a regular basis. Of you have to recognise the way that different people respond. So, in terms of football, we would have certain people in the team that would respond better if you told them that, like, quite literally, you're playing shit. Like, if you was like, what are you doing? You're shit. Something in their head would switch and they'd try to prove to you and they'd start playing better. But not everybody's responsive to that, like yourself. Some people need to be built up and they need to be... I was like that when I used to play. If somebody said, what the fuck was that, John? That wouldn't help me.
No, I'd be crashing. I'd be like, no, I've fucked it now.
That would make me play even worse.
Yeah.
But you just need to recognise that other people, like some people, when they fuck up, rather than what the fuck was that, you need to say, don't worry, man, get your head up, go again.
It's about those positive vibes, isn't it?
The problem was we didn't have enough of that in the team.
No.
We didn't.
I actually tried to ban the word why on its own.
Yeah.
Because when something happens, like you lose the ball, and someone says why, like there's no question there really. That's just a pure complaint, like screw you.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
But if all it takes is like a few more words, and it can become such like an intellectual thing. If you just go, why did you decide to go left when I was on your right? Now you've got that guy thinking, and he's next time he'll be like, oh. Yeah, why did I go left? Why did I go right? And just by adding a few extra words instead of why, because that's the grading word.
Yeah. It's like when someone goes, "What the fuck was that?" It's like I've not done it on purpose. You think they paid me to let that go in? You know what I mean? You think they said, "Oh, yeah, do that on purpose"? Of course not. Like
there was one game, I think it was the cup. There was a cup game.
Yeah,
and that's the one I specifically remember with you in goal.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I know where you get.
I remember the game.
But I felt you like your energy or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah, I could see your drop.
Like
yeah.
Because the players weren't just complaining at you; they're complaining at me for picking you to go in goal as well.
Yeah.
So like, I'm getting moaned at, and then I'm like also trying to like support you, and where I'm trying to support you, they're like, you're taking sides, and I'm like, no bro, I'm not taking sides. Like this is what you guys should be doing. You should be pepping him up, not complaining that he's in goal. He's in goal. Put up with it. End of conversation. Like anybody can have a bad day. Like and that was shit as well because it actually followed on to Instagram. The other team started giving a few like snide remarks as well. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know. What, the team we played?
Yeah. So they obviously saw our Instagram page and they wrote something about the goalkeeper, and then I was defending you on there as well. And at the time, I guess I was so involved with social media and technology, that was normal to me, right? That's what I was being brought up with. Now I look back and I go, why did I have an Instagram account? Like there was no need for that kind of thing. And then I would have removed that kind of. It's almost bullying, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is. But it was promotional. Like we had a Facebook page for the team, and it started off as a way to recruit players because we'd first season we'd built a team, and at the end of that season, half of the team just outed us, left, and went and made their own team. So we needed to recruit hard again to have a squad big enough for the next season. So.
Yes, it's an evil. Like social media is an evil necessity.
Yeah. It
Like,
is. You
we
must
couldn't-
use it for your band.
Yeah, like we wouldn't function as a band without it. We get our messages like, do you want to be on a podcast? Do you want to play a show? Oh, we're looking to do a music video. Like, do you guys want to do? Yeah, it's all on social media. Everything we do, we get a gig. It's an event on social media. That's how we invite people.
Yeah.
Like, that's how everything's done now, isn't it?
Do you guys do music videos as well?
We've got a music video, I think. Yeah,
Is that on YouTube?
that's on YouTube. Yeah, Diamond and Dirt, Hopeless. That song's called. Check out the channel. There's a few
What's that
songs
like?
there.
What's the process behind that? Did you guys?
A lot of arguing.
I can imagine, but did you guys like know a cameraman or?
Yeah. We've got a guy called Anthony Berry. I think his website is anthonyberrymedia.co.uk. Just find Anthony Berry, his name is. He's a
Nice
good
bloke.
friend of ours, and
Yeah.
I can stick some links in anyway.
yeah, I'll throw his link in, and yeah, definitely, because he's a wicked guy. He's a friend of the band, so he's helped us out a lot, and he's done a lot of recording for us. Shows, he's recorded a few shows, music videos. Yeah, but he's really helpful, and he does that for us, and then he used to put up with us all arguing about what we're doing whilst we're trying to do it.
Yeah.
How long did
That was the worst argument, I think, trying to put together music videos.
How long did the whole process take?
Well,
Because
once we had the final idea, like a couple of days, but getting up to it, like drawing musically, we were all the same. We all listen to different music, but we all sort of come together there. But the music videos, with every music video, we had the same problem where everyone's got a different idea and everybody wants to do something different. And that's the worst thing for us as music videos, trying to pitch an idea together.
I actually, this question keeps coming in my head, but I keep forgetting to ask it.
Go on.
Have you got someone in the group who kind of like takes the lead role on that situation? So like, say you did just spidergram all your ideas. Does someone go, yeah, we're going to pick that, we're going to pick that, pick that, pick that?
We all try to. We all want to be, because we all have our own. Everyone thinks their idea is the best idea.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
do
like
you not
everything.
just have a like designated person, like a band leader, so to speak, if that's
We try and have roles in the fact that if someone emails us, a lot of our email work goes through Aidan. Aidan's like web design or something.
So he does
He
your
does
admin.
computer stuff, so he deals with that. He can write a posh email and he knows how to communicate with people. He does our website. He designs the websites and things like that. Contact wise, Tidman does a lot of that. Tidman works for a like not promoter, like tour managing.
Right.
And he worked at the Horn venue in St Albans before, and he worked at a college with a guy called Steph Carter, who's in a big band before, and all. So he's got all the contacts. He does things like that. And like Sonny, when we go to shows, Sonny's really outgoing, and he will talk to other people at shows. I just I'm there, but we've got designated roles like that. But when it comes to a music video idea, everybody's watched different things and everybody's got different ideas. Everybody's trying to pitch their idea. Someone says that idea, you're like, that's not good, and then that's when a big row starts.
Yeah.
I actually think when you brought it up, you're talking about arguing, like probably the music video is the worst things we've had. Is arguing wise, trying to suss something out there.
Maybe it's worth just actually bringing in an outsider to do your video.
Yeah, but that's what we done with mixing and mastering as well. We was always trying to do it ourselves, and in the end we recorded ourselves. But the mixing and mastering process, we all decided we should send this off because like Tim would have a go, and we'd be like, oh, I don't like that, and Sonny'd have a go, and oh, I'm not too sure on that. We'd always critique each other, whereas we sent it off to someone, they'd done it and sent it back. That's how we avoided that argument.
So maybe you need to look for a director in some respects for music videos. But like I want to kind of get an idea of, because how long is, like let's say standardly maybe like 3 to 5 minutes a song.
Yeah.
So 3 to 5 minutes of video is essentially what gets published at the end.
Yeah.
To get that 3 to 5 minutes
Yeah,
of video.
yeah, that's insane.
How long did that?
It's like hours of recording. Like we rented out for the Hopeless video. We rented a studio for most of the day, and we recorded for hours.
And is this
And even then, we come back and we're like, oh, I don't know if we've got enough footage, because you're trying to find when you're making something like that. You say you're making a 3-minute video. There's a lot of cuts. Like you'll get something. I don't know. Like say they film the way I hit the snare drum. Like, that's really cool. We'll put that in a video. But that is like 1 second. Like that's a 1 second clip. A lot of the best clips we got out, and they're like 1 to 2, 3 seconds long, and they're trying to get the best thing.
Oh, I see.
That's why it can take hours to do something like that.
So it's actually you guys having mainly the problem of not having enough footage to
Yeah, that's after. Yeah, that's
see my my mind was going that because you had so many different people's artistic views going
Oh
into
yeah,
it.
that's the general idea. Once you've got getting the idea together, that's what I'm saying. That's the hard bit. Is getting the original idea
Yeah.
for us all to come together and say this is what we're going to film, and then you go in and you film hours and you're like, what about this, what about that, and then that's another argument, and then you're putting it together, and poor Tony has to listen to us argue because we're like, we should put that bit for that bit. Like, no, we'll use that section for that. They're like, no, it's different, and that's another argument.
Oh. See, I thought it would be like where you was all trying to not cram, perhaps that's the wrong phrase, but trying to put so much in because you all, I like that bit, I like that bit, I like that bit. So you put it all in, and then you've got too much footage for the length of time that your song is, and you've got to try and crop it down. But you're saying it was more the reversal of actually
Yeah,
trying
because
to...
once you cut out the bits you like and put it together, sometimes you're really lacking on the content, and then you're arguing about what goes where. So
that's similar to like podcast recording as well. Like a little bit different because obviously you can kind of snip whatever you want and stick it anywhere in the video, right? As long as the lyrics match up to whatever you're doing at that time. The podcast obviously just there's a story, it starts and it finishes.
Yeah.
But you've still got to try and snip out the bits that you don't like or bad quality or bad subjects, whatever.
Yeah. But at least you're solo.
Yeah.
There's just yourself. There's no one to argue with. If you go, I don't like that bit, you cut it out.
Oh, well, John and I have actually argued, like, after the third episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to scrap it, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, and I fucking salvaged it, and salvaged is the right word because it was dire.
Yeah.
Like, it was real bad. There was just a load of talking about nonsense, really.
Mm.
And it was just because, I think mainly because Jay didn't turn up till like 45 minutes in. It just, the conversation just never, it just never went on to America because we started on just random topics.
Yeah.
Like conversations seem to start on something, goes off on like a little journey, and then you always seem to finish on what you started. Like it was really weird. Like I just had that epiphany one day with John. I was like, we always fucking finish with what we started. Like we
always come back round to the same topic.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
But just for the listeners, within that third podcast, we was expecting a guest who Ricky did eventually get to come back to do a solo podcast with, but he turned up about 45 minutes to an hour into the recording, and we'd got him in for specific reasons which we actually never even really got onto.
Right.
And that's the reason why I disliked it so much, because we was just going off on all these random tangents. I didn't even want to listen to it back, and I only did sort of through self-censorship to make sure that I wasn't putting anything out there that
And that was after I clipped it.
Hours off of it, because it was about a 3-hour recording.
Yeah, so going back to that point, like, how do I get these little snippets? But because it's a conversation, I can't just like grab here and put there and do what I want.
Because they don't flow.
We was on a podcast, and I don't want to drop him in here, but like the whole podcast is fine, but there's one bit we obviously went off on a tangent and he cut it, and there's a moment we always laugh about it because the editing's a bit weird.
Yeah.
And it's like we're talking about something, and it's me that talks. It makes me sound like an idiot because we're discussing something, and then I just turn around about this completely other subject.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guitar or something, and it sounds like all of a sudden I just go, I really like this band, and they're like, it sounds really like this guy's not right, is he? Like, where does that come from? Like,
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That was the hardest thing, trying to snip that one down. Like,
make it sound like flowing conversation.
Yeah. Because literally, I took it like, I don't know if it was 3 hours. I think it was more like 2, but
No, it was over 2.
Yeah,
well over 2.
But I took it down to like a 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
So like, imagine all those. Like you were saying, 5 minutes took you hours. Imagine 2.5 hours, 3 hours down to 45 minutes. Like that was.
Yeah.
One day, in fact, I actually I wrote a blog post about it because I actually just like someone told me about a psych. I don't even know what his actual title is, but his name's Bruce Lipton.
Yeah.
He does like psychology, and I actually just like watched one of his videos that morning. It was about concentration and how we've all been brought up to be kind of like to have a bad concentration, basically. So even though we're talking, we're doing something else at the same time. Like we're not dedicating ourselves to one thing. So I just went, yeah, I'm gonna do this podcast. So I'm just gonna dedicate. So I like literally came downstairs, just had a strong breakfast, and just smashed it out from like 10 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock. It was hours of just doing that podcast, and I still wasn't finished. And I got disturbed. Obviously, luckily everyone was out of the house, but come like dinner time, everyone was dishing up. That sounds really bad because it's like sound like a right kid on the podcast, but like when obviously everyone has their own like roles or whatever. So then I got distracted and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have to pick it up again, which I did, but it just took fucking hours to.
So I've got no concentration. My levels of that are dreadful.
Yes.
We do 2-hour rehearsals. We should every band probably do like 3-4 hours, but we do 2 hours. I'm like a kid. Like, I play the set cut time, and then like we just know at the end of about an hour and a half in, I start being silly at that because I get like restless.
Yeah.
Where I can't concentrate for too long.
It's not too bad though, because at least you're going to be creative, right? Because you're
just but sometimes it does get silly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we find we've all swapped instruments, and then we like doing silly covers and stuff where like the concentration levels have dropped, the energy's dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you probably need just that little bit of reprieve, because I can imagine that if you didn't give yourself that time to just go, ugh, then it would just be too serious and not enjoyable.
Yeah. Even when you're like, I come away and like we've had like the Friday just gone, we had like I come in and I was like strict as fuck with it. I was like, I've got a plan what I want to do in this rehearsal. We're doing this, and we didn't have a break. We done 2 hours solid.
That was intensive.
It was intense, but that was like a really good rehearsal. Although it was like physically demanding and it sounds awful, they're the best ones. You got to say when you're productive.
But yeah, but then
complete something.
Then you do need a break from productivity occasionally, which is when the silly ones come in. But then you might come away from them and think, what was the point?
Oh, there's definitely been rehearsal. So other arguments we've had, we've gone to rehearsals and we've paid like 40 or 50 quid and we've just done nothing. We've sat there with tea and whatnot, we've talked, we've done like 1 or 2 songs, we've been stupid, we've swapped instruments. And I'm like, fuck's sake, we've put money into this.
But, right, this is something I like to talk about. I think we spoke with Martin actually. When you want to meet up with somebody like we did the other day, and you were driving, so you didn't even want to drink beers, but where'd you go? You go for a coffee, but that's like, I don't know, I feel like that's a chick thing, you do that with a girl. And, or a beer, like they're the only 2 things you do to catch up, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of is your pub time in a way.
Yeah.
You would spend that money on beer, wouldn't you? But you still
I always say like it's nice to just be together.
Yeah.
Like when you get older, like when we were 17, 18, we'd rehearse every week without fail. Like when I was at school, like we was in school bands, like we'd always rehearse and we'd always see each other. But you get older and life gets in the way of things. So it's nice to just, I love my wife and kids, but it's nice to get out the house and see, and even if we aren't, like you say, just seeing each other and being out and...
your kids aren't old enough yet, are they?
Cool.
I was just going to say, do you reckon they'll get involved in the music?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I got into music really late. I say really late, about 11. Like, it's not that late, but I bought my first guitar when I was about 5. And I listened to drum podcasts and all these drummers are like, we've been playing since I was 5, 6, 7. And I didn't start playing drums until I was like 19 or so. Yeah, I hope so. Like I bought him little fake guitars and whatnot, and I want to force it down his throat. I want to resent it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to put it there. Music's always my wife's into saying music to me. Music's always on in the house.
Yeah.
Like there's Queens of the Stone Age is my little boy. He's only 2. As soon as Queens of the Stone Age is on, he's jumping about, tapping his hands. He loves it. Like, he's already got his favourite band, so I hope so.
That's good. I think music is an incredible way to give expression, basically.
Music is everything.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realise, like, you in your car, you listen to the radio. You watch a film, and like a scene in a film is like really good. It's the music that's going on.
Yeah,
if there was no music in the film, it'd be crap.
I couldn't imagine my life without music. I use music as, I guess, as a muse for my moods.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what's weird? Like, remember I said, like what I just said about how the conversation seems to go around? Well, before we started the podcast, we were talking about, what was it called again? The whispering thing?
Oh, ASMR.
Yeah. And like, it's gone back around that. We're almost on that again.
Like,
I have an interesting, a question that does interest me actually. As I mentioned earlier, me and Ricky obviously co-ran a football team together.
Yeah.
You're in a band with 3 of your friends, but your friends and band members, right?
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing because I found after me and Ricky had been co-running this football team for a particular period of time, we were no longer friends. We just kind of almost became business partners in this football team. We would meet socially to just have fun. We wouldn't just go out for a drink to just be together and enjoy each other's company.
Or if we did, it would go back onto football.
Everything was the football team. That's all we spoke about constantly. And I want to know, especially now that you've said that you and your band members are obviously getting older, lives and partners and children and weddings are getting more and more, I wouldn't say in the way, but involved. And you meet once a week on a Friday for rehearsals, but that's time that you've paid for, so it'd be silly to waste it. Do you guys actually get a chance to just...
Yeah, as often as we can. If I ever got to the point where it was like a job, like if you make that, I'd quit the band. Like if it was like, I've got to go band practice now, I've got like 2 hours of work now, and I did not see them outside of that, and I didn't see them as friends, for me that'd be like the point where I've got to cut it off. I'd rather keep my friendship with them.
Yeah.
Like I say, it would become family now. Then my 3, when I got married, I had a really small wedding, and the only people, I had my close family, my mum and dad, my nan and granddad, my sister, and then them 3. That was it on my wedding from my side. Like, and if it ever become not that,
so
I wouldn't be interested.
You never find yourself... Well, I suppose it's different when it's music, because as we've said, music is a muse, and you guys all relate.
Even before the band, that's what we talk about.
And you guys all relate to the same thing, but do you never ever find yourself like sitting with any of the other members and just thinking, when was the last time we just did something for us that wasn't band related?
It gets less and less now because, like I say, people have moved away. I've got 2 kids now. Aiden's married now. Tidman does tour managing, so he spends weeks away. But we always try and go out for beers and whatnot. We try to organise. Like last Friday or the Friday before that, we rehearsed for 2 hours, and then we all went to Aiden's house and we just played video games and ate food and drunk till 3 a.m. You know what I mean? It was just chilling. There was nothing band related at that point. We were just sitting talking about life and mucking about, having fun.
So you don't even find that when you're in your social environments like that, when you've just gone back to somebody's house for a bit of a gaming evening, the conversation never goes...
It will come to that. Obviously there's points where we chat and be like, you know what, if that song, we could do that, that'd be a good idea. Why don't we play that song at the beginning of the set list? Yeah. There's always points where it comes back to that. But we are still just friends. Like.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like turning it into, I mean it almost is a lifestyle at the moment, but like a full on lifestyle, like, you know, get a fucking camper van or something and just do like a tour from city to city or something.
But surely that comes with being successful, doesn't it? You need the money. I don't mean to. I mean, don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. But at the moment, is the band profitable?
No.
Okay.
Not in the long run, really. Promoters pay you nothing, really, and my drum kit alone costs thousands of pounds. Like, I didn't want expensive drum kit, but if I sold all my, the second hand not, but new all my drum kit, it would be like over £1,000. Sonny's got like 10 guitars, and they're like ranging from £200 to like £1,000 each guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you add that cost in, and you had the cost of £40 a week rehearsals, and the cost of the fuel for us all to meet there, you're probably like, wouldn't even break even. No, it's not profitable. But it's a hobby that it's never about making money.
No, of course.
That's when you sell it out. For me, it was never about.
Well, that's like going back to the very beginning, like, you know, Arctic Monkey covers just to be popular and get people to buy your stuff. But you don't want that, obviously. You want
I want it to be enjoyable. I don't want it to be a chore. I don't know if I'm good enough, but I could join a weddings band, a covers band. You make well good money on that, like a weddings band, like a couple of grand or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. I don't want to play other people's songs. I don't want to just play to. You don't have a massive audience at a wedding, obviously, but I want to do our thing. This is our thing. This is my way of putting my message across. This is my way of writing my music. This is stuff we've written. Even if it's costing me more money.
Have you done covers before?
No. We've
No,
done.
I remember there was a point in time where I actually asked Bill if his band could play for. I think it was something for my sister.
Yeah,
this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I said to you guys, would you mind playing some covers of her favourite songs? And even though we were mates, you were quite adamant. You was like, we do not do covers, like not a chance, John.
Yeah,
and I was like, fair enough. Like I actually like appreciated the fact that you guys were just like so upfront about it and was like, not a chance.
Yeah, no, not us. Like Aidan does a bit of. He's got a friend that's in a wedding band, and every now and again he'll go and he'll learn the covers to play for the wedding. But us, as Diamond and Dirt, would never do covers. Maybe we might rewrite a song for a laugh or something. Might change like a pop hit into like in the future. Might change like a pop hit into like a punk song or something for a laugh. But like we'd never be a covers band.
Are there any existing bands that, or maybe not even existing now, but like 70s or 80s bands where you guys like draw inspiration from, or is it all completely like unique to you guys?
No, I was listening to a podcast here on the way here, and the guy was saying it's so true. Like every art form, any form of art, is 50% your head, 50% of what you've already seen.
Yeah.
Like nothing's completely original anymore. Like, and I think that helps in our band in the fact that although it does cause frictions in times of writing, but most of the time we all listen to completely different stuff. I listen to really heavy, real heavy, thrashy punk, hardcore music. Aidan listens to like jazz music, really. Like I like techno music as well, and none of the boys like that. Tidman listens to like Queens of Stone Age, and I like Queens of Stone Age. I can't even think what he likes. Some real obscure bands. Sonny likes just sort of your general punk music, really. But it all comes together and works. And yeah, I'll listen to a song and I go, oh, I fucking like that bit. That's really clever. And I'll come in. Obviously, I won't copy it. But I'll go, I've heard this and this inspired me. So it's 50-50. Like.
So is there not like a band that when you guys meet up socially, I assume you probably play or listen to music together.
Yeah.
Is there a band that you guys like to listen to? Do you listen to your own stuff when you're together?
I never ever listen to my own stuff.
Because?
Not because I don't like it, just because I just find it weird. It's self-indulgent.
I
don't know, maybe that's not right, but I don't put my own stuff. I'd feel weird if I was sitting in a lorry and I thought, I drive a lorry for whatever, so if I put my own music on when I was driving about, I'd be like, I'm sitting listening to myself, like. It's self-indulgent.
Does your partner Paige, do you ever come in from work and she's listening to one of your CDs?
No, she's not a fan.
Okay.
It's really weird.
Don't offend me.
Yeah.
Obviously, people say to me, I'll put your band on. I'm like, when I'm out with someone, I'm like, I don't really want to. Because I know now you're not going to like it. And you're going to smile at me and go, ooh, it sounds like you're having fun. Or something like that.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to like it. Like,
you don't want it to be you don't want to be patronising.
Yeah. I don't need to pretend, oh, this is alright. No, it ain't. I know you don't like it.
Well, you'd rather somebody just say, sorry, Bill, I'm not really into that, than try and give
be
you
honest,
some
yeah. Like, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually the opposite when it comes down to that. Like, I've listened to the podcasts back before.
Yeah. What, to critique or to enjoy?
Both.
Yeah.
Well, see, I listen to not to critique. I listen for censorship.
Yeah. But like I've listened to Alexis's one back. I just actually enjoyed that.
So
yeah.
I enjoyed listening to Martin's one,
yeah,
and I enjoyed listening to George's one.
I think, say if I'd done a podcast and I interviewed someone who I genuinely found interesting and I spent my time with him and thought, fucking hell, like, he's got good things to say.
Yeah.
I would go back. But to just write a song and record it, and don't forget, we rehearse every Friday. I do listen to our songs
of course.
2 or 3 times every week without fail. So I suppose in that way, but no, there's nothing against people that do listen to our music. I suppose when we write stuff that I would want to hear. I think like that would sound wicked. If a band done that, I'd enjoy it. So I write stuff I want to hear, but I just wouldn't go back.
You don't want to hear it.
You don't want to actually hear it.
I don't want to hear my own stuff. Like,
okay,
fair
people
enough. Listen to our music. Like, no, I ain't got a problem with that. Like, you wrote it, enjoy it. But for me, it's just, I write the stuff I like, but I find it self-indulgent.
To sit and jam to it yourself.
Yeah.
If you got an invitation to somewhere like, I don't know, Glastonbury, who would be the kind of band that you'd want to play with?
Don't know. Well, it depends. Like, I've got my favourite bands.
Yeah.
like Muse, favourite band. Every Time I Die. There's bands like Chariot as well. They're split up now, but they're my favourite bands. But as we wouldn't suit them.
Right.
Like, say like your football team, you'd probably love to play Arsenal, but it would just be a mess, wouldn't it? It would be horrible to watch.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a dream. Like, if Arsenal said come play with us, so I'd have to find bands that fitted us. I don't know. I mean,
it's almost like the saying, like, never meet your heroes or whatever.
we've played.
Because you can't, can you?
Yeah, yes and no. Like, we've played bands. We played with a band called Funeral Shakes, and their drummer Lee Barrett was in Gallows, and Gallows weren't big, but they weren't like U2, but they were big.
Yeah.
And that's literally what got me into heavy music. And I met him, and I put a fangirl out, and I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." But like, he was just a dude. He was like, "How you doing?" He was like, "Are you using my drum kit tonight?" I'd be like, "That's all right." And it was just like another dude.
Happy
Like,
days.
I've met bands like Palm Reader as well. I fucking love that band. Like,
Yeah.
and we played with them, and they're just like other humans, really. Like, I've not played with any of the big bands. I imagine like there are the big bands that are arseholes, but
Well, yeah. I suppose when you get to that sort of upper echelons, you're a bit
yeah,
arrogant.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is
isn't
arrogant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like to play with bands that inspired me,
Yeah.
like, especially drummer wise. Like Every Time I Die, they've had 3-4 drummers, but I've loved all their drummers. There's a band called Straight From The Path, Craig Reynolds. He does a podcast I listen to. I think he's a wicked drummer. I'd like to play with him, to watch him and learn from him. Have bands like Meshuggah and things like that. I don't suit us, but watching a drummer like an insane drummer like that, it's inspirational. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think I like.
You know, you've talked about how you've kind of argued and stuff and get on with each other.
That's,
I've never really discussed it with anyone, but
that's up to you, yeah.
I mean, it's weird actually because we had George on, and he's my cousin. He was hit by a car, a van actually, and absolutely absolutely obliterated. And it's like I was talking to him on the podcast, and it's like, do you get bored of having to tell your story all the time? And he was like, never spoken to anyone about it. This is the first time.
Which is strange because I wanted to speak to George because obviously George has had an experience where he was like a fit and healthy young lad who just on a freak event had his whole life changed. And I wanted to know what his mindset was before and after, and actually his mindset was worse before the event and he's happier since it's happened, which I wouldn't have expected. And the reason I wanted to talk to him was obviously because of my illness. I suffer with a lot of like anxiety, and I have had I've probably been in a depression for about the last 4 years. It more sort of stems from like relationships and feeling unaccepted by other people because of it. And the reason I wanted to speak to George was because my own mindset would have been like, he should have been happy, got hit by the van, and then been sad. That's probably what what would have happened to me, but he wasn't. He was unhappy, hit by the van, and then fucking grateful for everything that's happened since. Whereas for me, like, I was happier when I was younger, and I didn't really understand it. And then the older I'm getting and the more understanding I've got of what's actually wrong with me, the more it actually makes me feel depressed. When I should be on the flip side thinking to myself, I should just be grateful that I've actually got this. But that's not the way that it works in my brain. My brain keeps going, I wonder what I'd be like if I didn't have this. And why have I got this? And why the fuck did this happen? And do you know what I mean?
That's almost it's almost the same sort of essence as like we were saying earlier, understanding politics and stuff.
Yeah.
You're quite happy not to know anything about it, and when you start learning it, then it starts becoming depressing. You realise how shit it actually is. Like, I don't know, like a lot of things are like that, right? Like the minute you start looking into drumming, to begin with, it was just a bit of fun. You was naive to it. You didn't know how much hard work there was to like learn it and stuff. And maybe over time, you probably just like, it becomes more of a chore. Then I just pick up the things and the things, the fucking six. Just bang some drums.
Yeah, that's depressing in itself. Like, you're watching other drummers and you're like, you do say, you think, fucking hell, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And you go away and you watch someone who is actually world class, you're like, fucking hell, shit. And that's something to get down on.
It can go both ways, right?
Yeah.
It can go both ways.
It's like when I was listening to your thing with Alexis though, when you talk to Alexis about fucking being depressed and that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is. I'm not saying it's okay.
No, I think you're
but
right.
Jesus, like, the more people, so many times I've got in a car with someone, I've been out on a one-on-one with someone, and they get talking, and you get like, they're like, yeah, I'm depressed. You're like, fucking hell, really? Like,
I think we live in a depressed generation.
oh, it's a shit generation. That's like what gets me into politics as well, things like that. It's like, this is a shit generation.
For me,
it's a shit time to be alive.
personally, I think it all kind of stems from social media.
That's a massive part.
I think that because everybody only like shows online the good stuff, nobody would be like, "Oh, I've just shit myself." No one's gonna write that on their fucking Facebook page, are they? You're constantly comparing yourself to other people, and it just makes you feel so shit. And I think you're right. I think if you had a conversation with anybody of our generation, there would be something within their lives that has caused them some form of depression or anxiety at some point.
Yeah, of course. It's like you say about me earlier. Like, I've got a wife, I've got a family, I've got like a decent job. I've played my band that I love, and everyone's like, fucking hell, his life must be cosy. Like, I put on my Instagram and Facebook, I'm never going to put down, I'm sitting at home fucking crying, like, I'm going to put that on Instagram. You know what I mean? I put the band stuff, I put the fucking days out with the kids. Like, it's like this fucking shit my wife's watching at the moment, Love Island. Like, what is that?
What
is that?
That just puts out the wrong message for me, but...
You know what I mean? Like,
and I have to, again, I wrote a blog post similar to this sort of thing as well, having to watch things to fit into society. Like, even watching football, I've gone off of football because of a lot of things that it promotes, like a lot of bad things. Like, I get there's good things, I enjoy it sometimes, but comparing football and in Love Island, at work everyone's talking about Love Island and I have no conversation with them. Like, it's mad, but I cannot stand the fucking programme.
I actually got called bitter last night because I was out with some friends, and a few of them started to discuss Love Island, and I was like, I can't stand it. I can't stand how fickle the people are or portrayed to be in it. Like, you can be in love, quotation marks, guys, in love with somebody for a week and then be in love with somebody else the next week. And I don't like how shallow it appears to be, where like, if you don't get picked, you're on the subs bench. Mate, if I was on the subs bench, I'd be fucking broken. Like, imagine being put on the subs bench.
It's like, Jesus, we've had like 2 series and 2 people have killed themselves. Like,
you're not wrong.
Surely that's enough to say, like, this is not fucking right.
No,
it's like everything.
But that they're just 2 people that have been on the show or whatever associated to the show. Other people in the world have definitely killed themselves just because they watched it.
Of course, you watch the show.
But they're just not mentioned, you know, because you can't pinpoint.
You can't pinpoint it, but of course it is. It's like everything. Like, no one's good enough. No one's good enough for everything we do.
No, of course.
No one's got enough money to do these things. You buy like a new VW Golf and you're like, fucking hell, I'm happy with myself. Your mate buys a Mercedes C-Class. It's fucking hell. And then like, you think like, oh, I've gone to the gym and I've got a bit of money, and then someone else is always better. Look at Love Island, there's someone always better than you. And we live in such a materialistic time.
That is it, such a shallow materialistic era. And like, going back to what I said to you earlier about the depression, like, Love Island is a good example of this for me, because, and this is the reason why it sort of happened, the older I got, the worse it got for me, and it's because when I was younger, I got dumped by somebody because they saw my chest. Alright, and that kind of stuck with me, and so now I kind of feel like I have to explain or just justify myself to potential partners, because obviously I'm different because of my heart condition, so I don't feel good enough for anybody. So whenever I'm like, use a really old-fashioned word here, but whenever I'm like courting somebody, well, I didn't know what else to call it, because
I still say that, like, courting.
I don't text, you see, so I don't do this whole constant conversation.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
See, I do that to again fit in because girls just don't fucking put their phones down like so many of them. Not all of them.
I can't have a constant conversation that I'm judged on because I can write something that's supposed to be a joke and they take it offensively because they can't see my facial expression as I'm saying it. So I say something funny and they think I'm being a sarcastic bellend. So yeah, that's kind of where it is for me. It's like it stems from the fact that I just I just feel different, I suppose. And there's nothing wrong with being different because everybody's different, but because of the societal standards that we have these days of what everybody should look like and be like, and I don't obviously fit that stereotype. Like I got a fucking zip scar down the middle of my chest and I'm never going to be able to have pecs. So I feel like it's probably me. I'm probably too hard on myself.
No, but I think everyone is.
But
I think dysmorphia is massive.
Yeah, I think just because I've had the experiences in the past of women reacting badly to my sort of chest disfigurement, my scars, or just knowing what's wrong with me, because it's a big fucking thing. I just don't even feel, because there's always like fucking 10 other people texting the bird that you're trying to text, and I just feel like the competition's better. So
I think if I spoke with my wife now, I've got to touch the table, like, don't happen. I always joke to her, like, I'll just be single forever now. I could not be bothered with anything. That whole texting, trying to keep her. Like when I first met Mrs, I wouldn't even fart around the front and right around her. You know what I mean? Like, you're a different person, and I couldn't bother with that anymore.
Do you know, like, so psychology with the Love Island as well? I could actually just say Love Island is everything that's sick with the world today, like easily. Mm-hmm. Like they've got no idea about kind of world political situations. Like they're naive in that respect. I think everyone is. Stop myself saying I'm stupid there. They're just naive to that respect. Like the other like subliminal messages that, like you said, being in love with one girl for a week, then a week later in love with another one, or they're sleeping around with each other. They're all in the same house. Like
it's very incestuous.
Yeah, it is almost like, I know they're not related, but you can't just sleep with each other. Like that's not normal. It's not right, is it?
Yeah, right.
Like, I think the love bit, it's I don't know, like. Or sleep with who you want with and do what you want there, but like being in love with someone, that's the bit that scares me. You can't be in love with someone.
I just don't like it. I just don't like the fact that
I don't like how sort of blasé the term love is.
As well.
Like
but then obviously the other subliminal message. Actually, talking to my sister, she was watching it. Actually, she was on her Instagram, probably looking at pictures of fucking models and stuff. Whilst Love Island is on the TV. And she goes, do you know what? I'm going to stop being affected by like what people say you should look like or something like that. And I just went, are you fucking joking? Like, you're looking on Instagram full of influencers for the perfect body with Love Island in the background. Like, all of this is just going into your brain without you realising. Like, this is all subliminal. Subconscious memory is just like going, bang, bang, that's normal. And it's like, then I was explaining to her boyfriend, and we're saying like how the girls are faking it. Well, everything's fake, like the whole thing's scripted anyway. But I was like saying the girls are fake with the hair extensions and the eyebrows and the lips and all that sort of stuff. And I said the guys are too. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, how can a guy be fake? And I'm like, look, like there's hair dye for one, right? See, like I'm not saying don't dye your hair. I'm just saying like, it's still a fake part of that person, and the muscles of the guys, they're not normal.
No, men don't just hit puberty and bang, pecs, abs.
Every single guy on that show looks exactly the same. So guys look at subliminally or subconsciously, you're seeing that, and you might not think it's normal in your conscious part of your mind, but subconsciously, because you're hammering it into your mind all the time, it's always there. That's the perfect body.
I literally know that this is happening to me. And like my wife always tells me like, why on my Instagram, if you go on my followers, I follow so many influencers.
Yeah.
And like I'm a straight man, but a lot of them are blokes as well. And I'm flicking through it and I'm just like, you just look at a picture like, fuck me, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And my wife says it to me like, why do you even look at that? Like,
Yeah.
you're literally just doing it to depress yourself.
Yeah.
And there's no other reason. I don't know why I follow them. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm a straight man. I'm not sexually looking at them. Like, I just look at them and it just makes you think like, Jesus, like,
I
I'm
mean,
not good enough.
I do believe to have a healthy mind, you need to have a healthy body.
They work in tandem.
Yeah. You need, obviously, one can kind of compensate the other. Like you've got to use your mind a lot more because your body is at a degraded state.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So
that's one of the reasons why I love this, because it gives me a chance to talk, because talking is the best thing.
yeah, but the subconsciousness like influencing is just always there, and just trying to explain that to my sister and her boyfriend, like, by having this on, you're poisoning yourself. Seriously, like you're saying, I don't want to be judged by others, or I don't want to judge others, or I don't want to, I don't want to think that I'm not the perfect body anymore. But you've got it there. Once you've got that switched on, you're actually helping everybody else get depressed because they're all fucking whilst the views are huge, it's going to be on.
It's like Jeremy Kyle show's cancelled.
Yeah.
But 2 people have killed themselves from Love Island, but that's still gone on because they know it's going to get
money.
Millions and millions of people. Like, my wife's not even the sort of person that you'd look at and say, oh, she's a Love Island watcher. She's like heavily tattooed, dyed hair and that. Like pink, bright pink. She's not sort of your typical like Essex girl.
Yeah.
But she's still sitting home watching that shit.
Yeah.
My mum's watching that shit.
Yeah.
My mum's sitting there watching it. Like,
it's just the conversations at work as well. Like people can easily have like an hour or 2 conversation about I don't even know how long they are, half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
And I just think, fuck me, like, do you know how like intelligent you are, like how much power you've got in your head, and you're using it for a conversation about 2 people sleeping together on TV? Like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Really, like, going back to the political and how like shit, like, I don't think that this is the shittest time we've ever lived, because there's medical advancements that
of course,
miraculous, but everybody's depressed because of something. And it's this because we're just being pumped with the wrong fucking information.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't. When I said that earlier, I don't mean literally like I want to go back to being a caveman. Like
I genuinely would love to go back to a caveman. To be fair.
Yeah. See, we had this discussion last Sunday. We met up I've not seen Mickey in ages, and we was talking about he literally wants to be a caveman, and I'm the complete opposite.
Today I kind of did a social experiment on myself. So I went out last night and I got back at about 9 in the morning this morning, something like that anyway.
Yeah.
7 in the morning, down at Surrey, hanging, and I'm just like, right, I've got to get back to North London. My phone, I've run out of data on my phone, so I don't buy any more. Once I've run out, that's it, end of. But I had to get to Surrey to North London, not having a clue how the trains and that work down there. In fact, I was in the countryside. So I didn't have maps or anything like that, so I was like, do you know what, I'm going to do this without internet. I'm just going to do this without technology, like as much as I can. Obviously on my trains, but I walked down the road to the pub, spoke to the landlord who was doing some gardening, and was like, can you order me a taxi please, because I haven't got a phone, like I just said it was dead. And then so they ordered my taxi, like I did everything without me having to do it. Yeah. And fuck me, it was hard work. Like, it was real hard work. And it's just like mad how convenient everything is. Like, I think convenience is another, we actually say that with Alexis, convenience is such a, it's not a good thing.
No, it makes us lazy.
No.
My phone dies, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got to go Argos after this. My phone dies, I can't even pick up the thing I needed. Like, everything I do is on my phone.
Yeah.
How I meet my friends, how I organise my life, the things I buy, it's all on my phone.
This is another, like, the podcast conversation is very different to just a normal conversation as well, because even when you're like chilling with your friends, like go to the pub and we'll drink and we'll have food and we're doing something and then we'll have our phone and we'll just flick through our so-and-so's message this, blah, blah. Even when we was on the phone this morning, I'm WhatsApping John whilst on the phone to John.
Yeah.
And it's like, the podcast eliminates all of that because it's just us concentrating on
a conversation.
Yeah.
Which rarely happens. Rarely happens anymore these days.
Yeah.
I mean, there are pubs that like take your phone off of you, and then they're like, band.
Yeah, it's like the old game where you put your phone in and you don't touch it. The first person to touch it buys the food for the night.
Yeah.
It's part of your life now.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy in our band, I won't name, but he'll definitely know who he is. Like, he's obsessed with technology.
Yeah.
Like, he would not be able to function without it.
Well, I have a
Right.
colleague actually who was talking to me the other day about wanting to buy like a home assistant, one of those AI like Alexa things.
Yeah.
Fucking scourge of the earth, these things.
And I was like, don't do it. And she was like, I just want it to play music. And I was like, don't you have a phone already? And she was like, yeah. I was like, don't you have a portable speaker? And she was like, yeah. I was like, why do you need Alexa? And she was like, because I can just say, Alexa, play this. And I was like, are you too fucking lazy to go onto YouTube or Spotify, Bluetooth your phone to your speaker and type in the name of the song that you want to listen to? You can't even do that anymore because it's more convenient to just go, oh, Alexa, play whatever, and then it just happens.
Yeah.
So it's making us all so fucking lazy.
Whilst we're on that, actually, and because we've got a musician here,
Yeah.
I thought you put your hand up to speak. I listened to a podcast, Bold and Determined, and actually I've listened to a couple of other people who've said similar sort of things, and how you guys said like music is like life essentially, like it's a huge thing. Sometimes it's not a good thing to have. If you're feeling down, your automatic kind of consciousness is to go listen to a sad song.
Oh, I've got playlists for it.
Yeah. So
I've got bands I know.
And you just drill yourself even further into depression.
Yeah,
Whereas really what you should be doing is taking that negative energy and transmuting
happy playlist.
just maybe not even the music,
I don't
just
know,
turning
though,
it into an activity.
because I like that, because I like the fact that alright, so here's a good example. We're having this conversation where I've just essentially spilled out to Billy about my depression that he had no idea about before this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very unique sort of conversation that doesn't happen very often, which we've just said. So on a normal day-to-day for me, if I have a shit day and I come home, right, I don't have anybody in my house who I can have this sort of conversation with, really. And to some extent, I kind of wouldn't want to have it because they might have had a shit day too and they don't need my shit.
Yeah, we don't like talking about this shit.
Exactly.
Anyway. I don't ever talk about my problems.
And so to just have the outlet of me feeling sad, listening to a sad song, giving me the outlet, it doesn't last forever. I just listen to music for maybe half an hour to an hour by myself, and at the end of it, I actually do feel like I've had a chance to have that emotional release, similar to the emotional release you get from having a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And then I can just, I wouldn't say crack on, it's not like, oh, problem solved, but you know what I mean?
Right,
it gives me the outlet to just get rid of that emotion, and then I can carry on.
Okay, so take that situation, you deliberately...
I let myself be sad
Yeah.
because my body's obviously telling me you're sad.
So
it's hard to turn that. You're going to say turn that energy into something positive, but that's
really
like,
difficult.
when you're down there, it's hard to be like,
Of
I want to get my guitar out. That's the last thing I want to do. I want to lay on my bed and cry. Like,
Of course, like, and no, don't get me wrong, I've stood on the edge of fucking railway stations, you know, so I've been there. I know how extremely hard it is to turn energy, and I'm not saying think of a fucking bunny rabbit in a field.
Yeah.
When I say transmute the energy, I'm talking about doing an activity, doing something, whether that's just like go for a run or
That'd be a great one for me.
yeah, well, but there's rather than just like sitting there and wallowing in it, just do an activity, do something.
My kids are the best thing for that.
There you go.
Like my little boy, don't like my daughter's like really young, but my little boy, like, he plays. Like, I'll come home from work and I feel like shit, and he'll come run over and he'll give me a lightsaber, and they're like, that's it.
You can have a little lightsaber
And like,
fight
yeah,
and
a
it picks you
lightsaber
back
fight,
up.
and it just him smiling, he's just like the best thing for me. Like, there's definitely, like, for me, my kids really keep me going. I saw a video the other day. There's a woman who, like, she's got a famous page now, and her husband had killed himself.
Yeah.
And like, she posted her kids, and there was like one who really got to me. I was feeling down. I was flicking through Facebook, and like her little girl was crying, like asking where daddy is, and like I can literally feel myself getting choked up thinking about it now. And like for me, that's like Jesus. Like I couldn't do that to my kids. Like I couldn't do that. Like. And my little boy loves me, and I just couldn't. That's something for me. Yeah,
his father, isn't it?
That's something for me that keeps
you're his role model.
So obviously you're a young guy.
Yeah.
I was actually having this conversation with my pal Jack yesterday, and I feel like I've kind of lived life. I don't know. I'm happy with where I am now.
Yeah.
The experiences I've had, the stories I've got to tell, the people I know. Are you happy with the fact that you've had children younger?
It's never a good time to have kids or not have kids.
Yeah.
Or, the main thing is you find someone that you genuinely want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with a broken home, but like you want a family unit. So you want to be with. Don't just have a kid for the sake of having a kid, but you want to find someone you'll be with. But it's never a good time. Like when's the perfect time to have kids? You could just wait forever. Like
Yeah.
I've been with Paige since I was 17. So I've been with her 7-8 years now. I've been married 3, and it just happened one night. There's times where I think I've had them too early.
Yeah.
Because I've been with patients since 17. I've never not done things, but like there's things I've not done, and I probably have to wait a long time till now. But I just think I've had them at I've had my kids at 21 and 22, 23, and now I'll wait till they're older. When they're 16 and then I'll go out and do things because I'll be 35, 40.
Yeah.
You've gone out and you've done things that you're doing now that I'll probably be doing when you're sitting down with your kids. I'll be doing the things that you've done.
I was explaining this exactly to Jack yesterday because he was like, "No, you're in the 20s, you've got to live," and I'm like, "But dude, I'd be doing that in my 30s."
Yeah.
You know, 30s, 40s. You know, like, and I would have brought my kids into the world. I would be able to spend my best 10, 20 athletic years with my kids, bringing them up, doing fun, exciting things. I
can go out. I've done a night out before.
Yeah.
I went and saw Pete Tong, and I got home about 6 a.m. and I got up again about 8:30. I spent the day with my little boy, took him to a party.
Yeah.
And like I know if I was 40 years old, there's no fucking way I would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Like I see, like my dad now, like there's no way he'd stay up till 6 a.m. and still do a day the next day.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about being young. I'm still doing things now, but make sure I spend. Thing is, your kids are the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, you just become such a parent and say these things, but
Yeah.
they're the best thing in the world. Like I wouldn't do it. I'd do anything. There was nothing I'd swap because of my kids now.
Yeah. And people with kids most people with kids actually say similar sort of things.
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone says like, oh, they're the best thing in the world, and the way I say it is like you think.
Well, it's the most natural thing.
Isn't it? Yeah. Like
actually, it's the weirdest thing actually because when you speak to people who maybe I don't know if don't love their children is the wrong kind of bit harsh, but the ones that say don't have children, you're young. I feel like that's the complete wrong advice.
Yeah, have kids when you want to have kids.
Yeah.
There
are like 30, 40-year-olds who do hit depression because they're missing something in their life and they don't know what it is, and it's because they're not tutoring anyone anymore. You know, you're supposed to be passing on your life skills, and they're not. They're fucking around, still probably sleeping around, single, and just general bullshit.
Yeah. Way I describe kids, and I think it's the best way, is that you think you love your mum and dad. Like, I'm not saying you don't, but you think you love your mum and dad. You think you love your girlfriend, or like, I do love Paige, obviously my wife, but until you have kids, it is like a love that you cannot describe.
Yeah.
Like the way you feel for your mum and dad. I don't know how close you are with your mum and dad, but you love your mum and dad. Like, it's just another level. Like, man, I cried for about 4 hours when my son was born. Like, I just could not stop crying. Like, with just happiness. Like, it's just my stomach's rumbling. I'm hungry now. You just can't describe like that feeling of having kids. Like, the love is just fucking something else. There's no. Every parent says it, and you think, oh yeah, I love my kid. I know. You don't. You don't have a clue until you have kids. Like, I'd do anything. I'd swap anything for them. I'd do anything for them. I'd take a bullet for anything.
I feel like this is a good time to. It's a positive note.
Yeah.
I like finishing on a positive note.
Yeah.
Did you want to discuss anything specific before we went on the pod and we didn't quite get onto it? Or?
No, I like sort of just going in for the general chat and just seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier, it's an organic conversation.
Cool.
Yeah, unless there's anything you want to ask me before I go.
No, sorry, the cat's just fucking...
Oh no, that's why I'm excited to stroke the cat now.
She started scratching her ear right next to the microphone. No, that's it. Cool.
That's it, yeah. Lovely.
Got everything out.
Cool. We'll put some links in for my band.
Yeah, links band.
And for Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sweet. No worries. Take care.
Alright, speak to you later, guys. Bye.